Hi, everyone. Welcome to the second part of section one. This has to deal with budgeting. This is a very important tactic that you need to actually use every month of your life moving forward when you start to get a real job. So let's look at the first one. Um, Four reasons people avoid budgets. Number one, they believe a budget will keep them from doing what they want. Two, a budget has been used to abuse them. It's not in the budget. You probably heard your parents say that at some point in time or somebody around you. Number three, they have never had a budget that has worked for them. And four, people may be afraid to actually look at their finance from week to week to kind of see what they'll find and how much things actually cost. So, what you have to do, the first kind of goal that you have to do to financial freedom in your life after you leave here and you get a job is establish a cash flow budget. What does that mean? That means that you're actually using cash to pay for your stuff. And I know it's hard during this era, but with the cards and different things like that. So if you're going to use cards, you need to have a running list of what categories that you're designating certain spending habits towards, so on and so forth. Now, when you run out of that category of what you've deemed for that category for that month, you cannot spend any more in that category. So let's say you have $500 set aside for food. Once you reach that 500 mark and you've copied every single thing down, you've gone out to eat, you've gone to the grocery store, you're getting towards the end of the month, you run out of 500, that's it. Okay? That's it. That's a cash flow budget. You're done with that. So money is active. It is moving all the time. So if you don't make your money behave, you always wonder where it went. So you have to make your money behave. You have to stop when you reach certain limits in your budget, do different things along those lines. You must do a written cash flow plan every month known as a budget. A budget is a blueprint into building your wealth. In fact, you can see here, I have my own budget that I use day in and day out. Okay, establishing a plan for my finances. I have one on my desk here at work, and then I also have one at home where my wife and we write down what we spent that day and how we spend it, and I take it at the end of the week and I designate it to certain areas, and we look and we decide where we're at. And it is very difficult to do that. It takes a lot of patience, and on the weekends especially, it takes patience. But this is the only way that you will have financial freedom, and it's a constant effort. This is one of the only classes where you will have that if you do not have this, you will not have financial freedom. In fact, you can get yourself into really dangerous positions in your life with overspending and running over your bank account. And when you do that, you run into what we call the need for wants of on credit cards. Okay, and this is very, very important that you live within your means. And it doesn't matter what job you get a job that you love, because if you get a job that you love, you can always work the finances out as long as you live in a budget and you can have a good life. Okay, so what are some ways you can make money in your life right now? And we talked about it. You and the person next to you create a list. So a lot of people say I mow yards, I shovel driveways, I saw a lot of your business projects. Use your business projects. For some of you can use them. Some of them were kind of elaborate and cost a lot of money to run, so you couldn't really do that. But how could you make money in your life right now? We're just trying to establish a cash flow plan. I'm looking more for you to use this cash flow plan when you actually get a steady job, or if you have a steady job in the summer, you can try using this cash flow plan and see if you can live within a budget or save some money within your budget. Okay. The basics of banking. You must keep your checking account balanced. Um, what does that mean? You do not want to overdraw your checking account. You do not want to spend more money than what you have. You overdraft your checking account and it runs into the next day. It's going to be automatically $35 for every time that you overspend. So let's say you didn't know it and you overspent twice. That's $70 extra you have to pay the bank because you overdrafted on your card, $35. I wasn't even looking at that. I knew it. An overdraft is a sign of a crisis living and sloppy, lazy money habits. Happens all the time. When you do these things, it affects your credit score negatively. So managing money well is a sign of maturity. With many bankers using debit cards, it is of utmost importance to check your online account 3 to 4 times a week. I'm not saying 3 to 4 times a day, I'm saying 3 to 4 times a week. They have apps now that you can get in on your phone. Some of you might have these. You can check your account to see how much money's in it. Check the stuff that's being withdrawn from your account, okay, pending from your account, and write those down on your budget every night or at the end of the week, every week. Write down all your pending stuff and designate it to where you have designated money for your budget, okay? And that's smart spending, okay? These debit, and this is a good line at the end here. With this, a debit card could become a budget buster because you're using it, you're not thinking about what you're spending, so on and so forth. Keeping records. Develop a filing system for keeping and using financial records. Maintain both electronic and paper records. Like my buddy who's a financial advisor, he actually has Excel spreadsheets for his budget he showed me. And I'm like, well, that's too complicated for us. So what works for my wife and I is when she goes and spends something, she comes home, we have a running tab, sits on the counter. She just writes down the amount and, designates it in a category. Fun spending, we have categories. Okay, we have fun spending, we have food, we have kids, we have, all kinds of stuff that we use, okay, on a monthly budget that we have, that when we spend something, we write it down. Haircuts, so not for me, but for her. Maintaining both electronic and paper records. These will be useful for filing taxes and for disputing bank errors or fraudulent purchases as well. Banks offer online record-keeping procedures, PNC Online. There are so many phone apps and record-keeping procedures that can help you with this process. There's also budgeting apps that you can actually get in your phone and just write in, and it will take the money out of that if you designate money from your account. It's not actually money going in there, but that's that. Some banking tools you can use. Writing checks. Checks can be used to pay off bills. Give a person a check if you are short on cash at that point in time. So checks are a good thing to have on you. Your card, your PNC debit card, actually acts as if it was a check, okay, in today's current day. So a check is just a piece of paper, okay. You will write a check out. You can use it for just about anything. You can buy your groceries with it. You can pay people, okay, if you're doing something, and that will be gone through your bank account. Online bill pay is something that you can use. It's another tactic to pay your bills. If you get the address and location where you can send checks, you can actually go into the online bill pay, set it up, the address and the account that's being withdrawn from and the account that's going to, and you can pay your bills right online through the banking app that you go through, whether it be Northwest, PNC, whatever it may be. It will help you pay your bills a little easier as opposed to like my father does the old school way, writing checks out and writing checks and sending postage stamps and dropping your mail off every day, every month to be sent to that. And you know where your money's at. Some people don't trust this. I trust it. This is how I pay my bills, is through an online bill pay app through PNC, and I'm able to do that. Debit card purchases, money is directly withdrawn from your checking account. This is not a credit card, okay? This is your debit card. This is coming from your checking account. So if I get paid from General McLean High School, I have a direct deposit that goes into my checking account. I get paid every 2 weeks, and I can withdraw from this by using my debit card. This is not a credit card. It looks like a credit card. It feels like a credit card. It is not. A credit card is borrowed money from an institution, a private loaning institution or a bank, that you withdraw and you pay interest on it, okay? Unless you pay it back in full at the end of the month. If you don't pay it back in full at the end of the month, you pay interest on it. So be very aware of that. Account transfers. So I have multiple accounts, just like some of you had multiple accounts in your business projects from a while back. This allows you to have money from your checking to your savings account. So if I have any money left over after my budget at the end, I can pull that amount of money and throw it into my savings account. Therefore, we have a savings account now. I do roll some of that over into my 403B with my financial advisor, and that's what I hope you guys will do too. You'll keep a little money in the savings accounts in case an emergency happens. You roll the rest over into into your savings to make 6% hopefully, and you're starting to save for your future and your family. Okay, and this is very important that all of you should start doing when you start making money, is to save and start an investment portfolio. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit about that more when we get to chapter 6 and 7. Some banking tools: an ATM, an automatic teller machine. You can actually make withdrawals, transfer, and deposit without entering into the bank. This is important in this day and age. No charge fee if you're at the ATM that you go through. So I go through PNC. I know there's a PNC outside of Embro. There's a PNC by the McLean Church ATM where I go. I can deposit my checks there. I can withdraw my money if I need money for the babysitter for my kids. So be very careful that you don't share any of this information, your PIN or whatnot, because there are people out there for the wrong reasons trying to get that information. We also have mobile banking features you can get on your smartphone, text alerts and text banking to remind you when your account's low, or hey, what are you doing here? You've made so many purchases. Why are your purchases coming from Canada? Whoa, I didn't purchase those in Canada. Boom, I know I can cancel my debit card right here and then and there. A smart thing to do once you guys are ready, go with your parents. If you're not 18 years old, set up a banking account, get yourself a debit card, start a little savings account as it is right now, and you will be able to start your financial future. If you are going to look into getting a credit card, like I said, have your parents sign on it for you. Purchase gas one time, pay it off at the end of the month, start a track record of yourself, being able to pay things on time. Like I said, the banks will really look at you for receiving good credit score. Don't ever use your credit card to run it up and pay the minimum payment. It will accumulate interest and you will get into trouble, and there's a good chance you will go bankrupt, okay? Which means that they will come after you because you can't make those payments, or you won't be able to pay your mortgage because you have so many credit card payments that you need to pay. And it happens to a lot of people. It happens to good people. These are not bad people, okay? They just don't use their money wisely. And one of the warning signs of this is when you are overdrafting your account, okay? Doing all these different things that show signs of lazy money habits, okay? Last but not least here, what I want you to do is you're going to create your own student budget. So you're going to add up your monthly income. This includes money parents give you, the amount you have to spend for the month. You're going to estimate your spending, start at the top and work your way down, total each category, write a total in the monthly outgo box, and get to zero. So the goal is to designate every dollar, spend every dollar. So at the end of my budget for the month, I will take all the money that is saved and I'll throw it into my savings account. I always keep $1,000 in my savings account. Anything that's left, I will send over to my financial advisor. That way I always have $1,000 left over, and I have extra money where I'm throwing to him to invest for me, okay? So I'm always getting to zero. That way when I get paid, next time I get paid, I take that money, put it in my savings. The next chunk of money comes in and I'm back into my categories, okay? So you have to be very careful on how you do these things and what you do. You want a zero-based budget at the end of every month. So you should have $0 at the end of every month. That $0, now I'm not saying you have $0. I'm saying you might have $500 left over. You take that, you transfer it in your savings. Now you have zero. You've used all your money. You've designated it everywhere. That's smart spending. Wrong, careless spending would be, hey, I overdrafted money, okay, and it came out of my savings account. And instead of $1,000 in my savings account, now I got $600. I spent $400 over my monthly budget this month. That's not good. Okay, that's not good. All right, so be aware of that. I'm going to have you guys kind of create your own student budget in this next project that we're going to get to here. Okay, so we're going to do that. Make sure that you do this. I'm going to give you two different scenarios. You guys are going to read, and you're actually going to submit it into a worksheet, and you're going to send it to me back for a grade. Don't forget, after you're done doing the student budget, continue to work on the budgeting module. Okay, that is also due by the end of the week on Friday, at the end of this week. So make sure that you're doing that. All right, guys, if you have any questions, message me to Schoology, or we can start a chat.